Welcome to Tammy Nation. Let's go.
From 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good Wednesday so far. I know I am. Hey, Cam. Hey, Falia. I think I say that name right. I'm not really sure. Is that the way to say that? F-A-I, Falia? I hope I get it close anyhow, but I thought I'd pop on because I went through the headlines after work today. I came home and I was eating and I couldn't believe some of the crazy stuff going on. I've stayed away from a lot of it, just trying to have fun, work out, do some fun shorts, all that good stuff. I know it's Falia. Okay, very good. LOL. Falia. Very good. I've got it now, I promise. But I was going through some of the stories and I just couldn't believe it. I mean, a little bit's good and a little bit's just crazy. So I thought I'd cover a few of that today. The first story I wanted to start off with, you guys, is about the Biden guy. Remember the non-binary guy that was on Biden's Sam Britton is his name, actually. And Sam Britton got caught stealing women's suitcases, 2 of them. Okay, so the thing that is funny about this is he was still being paid a salary. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time. The salary that he was being paid after he was hit with the felony charges for stealing those 2 suitcases was still being paid. And he was placed on leave at the Department of Energy last year, but his monthly salary, or his salary that he received over a month, was $178,000 paid by us, the taxpayers. So last week, Britton was found guilty in a Las Vegas court of theft, and he was ordered to pay, guess how much? $3,670 to one of his female victims, while he was given a 180-day suspended sentence. And I thought, oh, isn't that great? He got a fine of over $3,000. He got a suspended sentence, and he got his annual salary of $178,000. So I'm going to show you the picture of him just in case you guys don't remember. So I'm going to do this share screen thing. So let's see how this works. So today I'm going to be kind of playing with this on and off. Let me see. Let me scroll up to the picture of this beautiful human being and show you. It's him. So here we go. Let's share it. There we go. So remember him? So he has, I think red lipstick makes a difference in a picture. I guess everybody, if they're going to have a picture taken, should have red lipstick, a nice necklace, and also a red dress on, because his mugshot's not doing him any justice. But it was on Twitter, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So, that's the kind of irony that goes on in this crazy world, that clown world, I call it, that we live in, that this person is still paid $178,000 for his salary after stealing something. And these are the pictures that are out there on him. And it's disgusting to me, some of these people. So you got to kind of laugh at it, because it is so funny and it is so disturbing at the same time. But anyhow, so he got a little slap on the wrist there. And then I don't know. Hey, Sharon, good to see you. If you guys saw yesterday on Twitter, our mighty fearless leader, Mr. Joey B, declared on Twitter, he made a statement that came out and he said Congress must pass a law restoring Roe versus Wade. So, we just all know what we all went through with that and the accomplishments that were made, that maybe, this shouldn't have been enacted in the first place. So he came out yesterday and that's what he had to say. He's appealing to Congress. He says, you need to get out there and get at the law and get that reversed and let's get this taken care of. So that's another great comment from our fearless leader. I thought that was pretty good. So we've got his representative that, got a slap on the wrist. And now we've got him coming out making a statement like that about Roe versus Wade. Not very intelligent in my opinion, but it is my opinion. We all have rights to our opinions and to voice them, at least last I heard, right? Then we have, don't forget about John Fetterman. So John Fetterman, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. John Fetterman came out. He felt the need to come out and put a statement out saying that he does not have a double. There is no body double, that since getting out of the hospital, he feels just fine, and that everything is good, and that these rumors out there that he has a body double are just crazy and insane. And he needed to put the rumor to rest because, that's very important for a representative, a senator from Pennsylvania to come out and do that. And, you guys, he is really good and he is okay because he came out in his usual hoodie and his workout shorts and his nice tennis shoes. And the other day, there was a picture of him going to the Capitol and heading it back to work, and he was in the same outfit. And I don't know about you guys, I'm all about a comfortable hoodie, and I'm all about, being casual and all that. But I think that when you're a representative and you're going to work in the state capitol and you have meetings and stuff, there's a certain standard of clothing that I think we should follow. There's a little bit of, I think, dignity and class that we should keep in the office and how we look as representatives. I think that's very important. I think we've just gotten too sloppy and too accepting of too many things. Hence, we have a picture of somebody that, was in this administration that is a male that is in red lipstick, a dress, and a shiny diamond necklace. He has a better necklace than I do. So I just think it's crazy. Slides and dad bod is my casual. I know that, Cam. That is true, and that's okay. And if it's a fancy ordeal, I slap on the Sperry's. That's fine, Cam. We love you for that. But I can't believe it out there, you guys, the way that the clown world that it is in. Like I said, the other thing I wanted to bring up, it's another quick little story. So I'm just kind of hitting these crazy little headlines that I've run across today because I just couldn't believe it. Was Colorado, if you haven't heard, becomes a trans tourist safe haven. There's new law signed in by the state's Democrat governor, Jared Polis, means that teens under the age of 18 from across the U.S. can travel to that state and undergo gender reassignment surgery and hormone replacement therapy without their parents or state being able to stop them. So Colorado law will now override the laws in a child's home state, meaning that their parents or their home state will have no legal option to sue or file a lawsuit to prevent them from changing gender. So Colorado apparently is leading the way on this. I find this appalling too. I don't know how this is going to benefit anybody or society or add anything good to the world, but Colorado seems to be proud of leading the way in this. Sometimes I think, how does this happen? When you're paying attention, this stuff is still sliding through and it's still happening. I missed this one completely. I know that there are rumors about this stuff kind of going on, but here it is. Colorado's already got it in place and stuff. And I don't know about you, but wasn't it illegal for any adult to even reach out on the internet to a minor at one time? The police or the FBI would, track these people, and you're not allowed to be, say and do certain things with minors. And here it is. Now we've got grown adults, grown representatives putting into laws that our minor children are free to go with whoever, however they get there, and all that kind of stuff to be able to change the sex of who they are, male to female, female to male. to me, it's just getting beyond ridiculous. It's getting disgusting and disturbing, because it's one thing for rumors to fly around. It's one thing for people to talk about it, but it's another when these doctors and lawyers and congressmen and laws are being passed to make it legal and taking all of the control out of the parents. We are supposedly responsible for our children until the age of 18, at least the last I knew we were. We're held accountable for all the different things that they do as minors. We hear, oh, you're a bad parent if your child does this or does this. But now here it is. These perfect strangers are allowed to enable and help and assist our children to be able to cross state lines to have a major change in who they are as a male or a female, as a minor. So there's no such thing as taking these baby steps with our children, right? We've said this before, and I know that you guys are intelligent out there as well, that who is actually doing this? Because our children, we don't allow them to drive as a minor, right? You have to have a permit at a certain age, and then it goes up and up and up. Once you're 18, you can buy cigarettes. Once you're 21, you can buy alcohol. But yet you can be a minor and you can cross state lines and become a male or female of the opposite sex and have surgery to change it, and parents have no say about it. So in a normal world, how does this make sense? And it just shows to me we aren't living in a normal world, and we need to pay attention. Yeah, exactly. When do toddlers get to drive? It's against the natural laws of life. God doesn't make mistakes. Male, female, we've done fine. Male and female, Adam and Eve. I mean, since when are we supposed to not only just accept these people who say they are male if they're female, or just because they think it, or we, they, them, all these pronouns? We're supposed to just randomly accept that. Where do you ever stop and think, where did all this come from? How did this get from us thinking that there's a few people that have maybe a mental illness that believe in this stuff, to jumping to it affecting our children and taking the law and the protection and our rights out of our hands as the parents? So see, it was a big leap. It is evil going after our children. I want to be a street lamp, Cam. Cam, add the humor to the conversation. But it's true. It's like, when did this leap take place? It's like we hear this term that you're not awake and you're asleep, and we need to pay attention out there. And paying attention, and all this is still happening. So my question is, how are these laws enabled? How is it a big outrage on media that this is happening to minor children? I don't understand how. I can't believe. I guess not understand, but I can't believe that society would be pro this. The majority of people would be for this. They always say we need to be accepting of these adults. And we say, you know what? Okay, adult, if you do what you want to do as an adult, okay? As long as you don't affect the children, as long as you don't influence the children. We've gone round and round about the book reading to these children in these schools, about the context of the book reading. So back in the day, when all this first started coming to fruition with drag queens reading books to school children, it was just normal books. Remember, we always say they like to normalize it, so then they can get more and more decrepit, more and more evil, more and more dark with what they're doing to our children. Before it was just seeing drag queens, right? And then it was a drag queen coming to school for an event reading a normal book. Now here they are. These people are coming in, transgenders, drag queens and stuff, and they're reading sexual books to these children in elementary and middle school. We've seen it across the internet. We've seen it across different states. And so basically, it isn't being dramatic. It isn't making false accusations against these people who, in my opinion, a lot of them have mental disorders that are going untreated, because anybody that thinks they need to change a child in their sex, and that anybody who thinks that it's okay to operate on them, these doctors and surgeons and stuff that do it, the parents that think it's okay to change their children that way, I believe that it is a mental disorders. I believe that it is evil taken over. There is no way anybody can justify doing that to a minor child. We all know that we all don't develop, especially guys. Guys take forever to develop when they're so-called normal. They're way behind women, at least 3 years. But children, it just is really getting under my skin, and it's disgusting and it's disturbing what these children are exposed to, because you stop and think, not is it about these children being exposed to this who supposedly want this to happen? What about the children who just want to be normal male, normal female? What is happening to them? They're being shunned and put aside because they're told that you're not accepting and there's no such thing as just male and female. So it's the corruption of the whole generation of children, all these kids, all these minor kids. So it isn't just an influence of a certain group of people that feel uncomfortable in their own skin. It's going to the destruction and, to me, the corruption of these generations of kids up and coming from 18 down to birth. Because I said the other day on a show that they aren't even allowing, some of these people, parents, aren't even naming their children male or female or giving them names. They're just going to wait until they get older, and then they can tell them what they identify as. Can you imagine what that's going to do to these kids that are being born now? What is that going to do to them? Yes, they will fail, Tammy. Evil will be dealt with soon enough. I agree. I agree. I have the faith, but I think it's important to put it out there. It is a mental disorder and it's untreated. I've said for many years that when we took down the mental institutions and trying to help people and get them therapy and get them a new direction or try to treat them, we did such a disservice to humanity in general, because all we're doing is passing out pills to people. We think a pill is going to fix somebody. No, a pill does not. A pill just camouflages the problem, the issue, for the most part. It is a chemical imbalance, and yes, some medications are necessary, but I believe talking in therapy and not enabling the person to live in that false world by saying you look beautiful as a woman, even though you're a man with a beard and you have eyeshadow on, you became a woman. I don't buy that, not at all. You can call me old-fashioned. You can say that I'm prejudiced against it. I don't care, because the thing is, I have yet to see anybody of these people that are out there that are very happy and content in who they are. A lot of them are angry. If you notice, a lot of them are very angry and edgy, calling us names because we don't accept them for who they are. They're just trying to wipe women out for the most part, I think. I've got another article I'm going to read about what's going on with some of the so-called professional athletes that just came out and signed a letter protesting HR 734. So it is a destruction of moral and values of the male and female. And that, to me, goes against God, doesn't it? God said male and female. That's it. When you start going down this path and you start affecting the children, there's going to be a price to pay for that. And it's not going to be a good one. Paula says here, dear God, please come back. We need you now more than ever. In your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. That's true. And in the meantime, Paula, I'm just going to try to stay strong, pray, and try to expose this stuff and do what I can to help bring light to it and help stamp it out. I mean, if there's things we can do, which is go to the legislators, talk to schools, et cetera, we've talked about that. We can try making changes. Unfortunately, we look at what's going on in some of these cities with the whole generation of even 18 to say 30. You see what's going around with these people that are robbing stores, beating each other up. The other day in Chicago, there was a mob of kids that were going around destroying the city. I don't see coverage about that and about these kids need to be found and looked up for and find out what the parents are doing. And I don't believe all parents are bad parents. We all know that kids can sneak out, and we've probably done it when we've been young and done things our parents don't know about. But the level of destruction, the level of harm that these so-called generation of teenagers are doing now is indescribable and disturbing to me. When we went out, we snuck out of class early, or we stayed out a little late. We did silly things. Now the level of what they're doing in these cities is just, to me, terrifying. You look at, I scroll through different feeds sometimes and I can't even watch the videos because it's all about beating each other up. And I don't care what race you are. It's not just one race. It's not just one religion. It's just humanity in general. And you look at these older women that have been beat up on just sitting on park benches, or, people are minding their own business and somebody will walk by and just punch them. I saw a video of somebody being pushed into a subway train. It wasn't moving yet, but it's just the clips that these cameras are catching of what people are doing to each other in society is just so sad to me. And ignoring it isn't going to make it change. We have to expose it. We have to talk about it. We have to face it. And like I said, maybe not 10 or 12 hours a day, but we do have to pray about it, see it, expose it, and do what we can to help make changes in it. And then, like I said, take the rest of the day to enjoy your day and live life. Being involved in this 24/7 is very detrimental to your psyche, and it's not going to do you any good. You have to keep your energy and keep your balance and keep your sanity in these insane times. So let's see. Paula says, I just heard today an 8-year-old girl had 67 different sperm counts in her, and they said it could be more. That is horrifying. Horrifying. I did not hear that, Paula. That is terrifying to me. I don't even have words for that. I don't have words for that other than pray. And, we get caught up in so many things that are very petty. Our time is occupied by things that really don't make a lot of difference in the long run, that I think that we need to blow off and pay attention to more in more detail and spend more energy on things like this. It's very easy to get carried away in the petty things in life, and it's just not worth it. These are some major atrocities that are happening to our children, and it seems like the scale is getting bigger, more harmful, and it's worldwide. And look at the Dalai Lama the other day that came out, and he was having that child that asked that boy in front of all these people to suck on his tongue. And, they tried to, now I haven't seen much on that other than the Dalai Lama came out and said, there was a spokesperson for him said, it was a mistake. I mess around, I play, et cetera, et cetera. Well, in these kind of times when somebody like him knows what's going on with the children and the harm against the children, he sees what's going on, and he's a religious figure, a spiritual figure. Do you think that would be the last thing he would try to do, is incite anything that could be misconstrued as sexualization like that? And here he is, he did it. So what does that tell you about him? Somebody tried to defend it. Some people were saying, well, that's part of the tradition. No, that's not tradition at all. The sticking out of the tongue is some kind of tradition with the Buddhists and that kind of stuff, but the sucking of the tongue is not part of it. So that made no sense whatsoever. So it's just these little things, you guys, that come up in the news here and there, these little tweaks of the different things that people are doing to children, people that should know better, and then claiming, I made a bad mistake, I didn't mean it. People that should know better, people that are leaders in our community. That's another thing that we have to remember. When you're a leader in the community and people look up to you, you have a big responsibility. You will make mistakes, but things like that, like what the Dalai Lama did, there's no excusing that. These different celebrities or leaders that have this different kind of art that's hanging from their homes that depicts bad things against children, there's no excuse for that. There's no understanding that. I have no sympathy for that. I have no anything that shows harm against a child. I have no compassion for the person that displays it, endorses it, or tries to say it's okay. There's a lot of different, unfortunately, on Twitter, with these transgender people coming out and saying, you know what, just go ahead and let things happen to your children. Just go ahead and let your children be children and make choices. That's not letting your children be children. We all need guidance and direction all the way through adulthood. Even when we're adults, we still need that help, that direction. We still have to have a moral compass. We still have to have a conscience, because if we don't, everybody's going to become dark and evil. And then what? It's just going to be a free for all out there. And to me, A lot of the things that I see that have been happening in these different cities, and with the stealing, the beating, the destruction, is darkness running rampant. There is no moral compass. It's all about ego, selfishness, hate, and that kind of stuff. And it's just so disturbing to me. I heard they killed their father. Oh, that's terrible, Paul. I had no idea. I had no idea. Lala also said, let me go back and chat here. Lala said, how is that not kidnapping and taking a child across state? Sounds like a fat offense. You would think so. Yeah, you would think so. That's what I'm saying. So how did this law get passed in Colorado, and how is this okay? And then once these children get here, who's going to pay for it, as far as who's paying for the surgeries, who's paying for the aftercare, who's paying for the transportation? So not only is it crazy of how this is happening, but who's paying for all this is my other question. I have no idea. I didn't see anything about that. It's like an afterthought. It's disturbing. So another thing that came out, you guys, I wanted to talk about is the pro-Olympic and Paralympic athletes signed an open letter against HR 734. So let me tell you about this. So it was a lot of elite professionals, Olympic and Paralympic athletes. They signed an open letter opposing the federal bill HR 734. That bill, which would stipulate that the Title IX compliance requires a federal ban of transgender and intersex girls and women from participating in sports. So the letter was sent by the House of Representatives legislative directors, and it was covered by Sports Illustrated. So what it is these professionals are going against this bill, because this bill is saying that men can't compete in women's sports. We've heard a lot about that going on as well. We've looked at how these males because they felt female and became female and competed in these sports, have taken away all the different trophies and all the different records from these women in all different kinds of sports across the country and world that have been going on. So what's happening is a lot of these Olympic people are coming out saying that they signed this letter, and this is the statement they came out with. And they said, as professional Olympic and Paralympic athletes, we have dedicated our lives to sports. Sports have given us our greatest friends, taught us incredible life lessons, and given us the confidence to drive to succeed in the world. Those of us who love the sport know its value goes far beyond the playing field to developing a sense of self and identity and reflecting what we value as a community. Sport is a tremendous outlet for physical and mental health, teaches valuable lessons on teamwork and discipline, and has brought us lifelong community. Every single child should have access to the life-saving power of sports. Now, I agree with all of that. Hey, Christopher Sandor. Hey. I agree with that. We all know that when you're part of a team, no matter what that team is, whether it's in your community, at your church, in sports, no matter what it is, we know that we can hold each other accountable. We help each other out. There's a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood in that community. Sports it's true. It teaches you all these things that they listed. The part I don't agree about is they added this part. Right now, transgender and intersex human rights are under attack, with politicians in D.C. pushing forward HR 734, the so-called Protection of Girls in Women's Sports Act. So they're saying that this would stipulate compliance and requires banning transgender and intersex girls and women from participating in sports. If this bill passes, transgender and intersex girls and women throughout the country will be forced to sit on the sidelines away from their peers in their communities. Furthermore, the policing of who can and cannot play school sports will very likely lead to the policing of bodies of all girls, including cisgender girls, which cisgender, I don't even know what that is. I mean, I'm going to have to look that up, I guess. I've heard the term. I don't know what it means. They also state this will deter girls from participating in sports and create additional barriers, denying children access to a place where they can gain significant mental and physical health benefits and learn lifelong lessons that come from being part of a team and working hard towards your goals does not protect women in sports. We believe that gender equality in sports is critical, which is why we urge policymakers to turn their attention and effort to the causes women athletes have been fighting for decades, including equal pay, an end to abuse and mistreatment, uneven implementation of Title IX, and a lack of access and equality for girls of color and girls with disabilities, only name a few. Our deepest hope is that transgender and intersex kids will never have to feel the isolation, exclusion, and othering that HR 734 is seeking to enshrine into law. So there were over 40 different athletes that are going against this HR Act. And the thing is, it's a lot of gold medalists. There's different gold medalists. There's different soccer players, professional. You can look it up. This article actually came from, it's called Athlete Ally, and that's the website that it came from. So what it's saying is they're all about transgender and they don't want them discluded, okay, in sports. You know what? I say let them have their own sports. Let them have their own. Let the males that are females and the females that are become males, you compete against each other over there. Because when you're saying that you're disincluded, what are you doing to women? And we that are, I mean, have, to me, biologically have a brain. You study the male female body, you know that even though a man has become a woman, in their mind, they still have the muscle and the makeup and the biology and the mentalness of a male. They're stronger than a female, most of them. Now, there are some females that are stronger than males, but the point is, hello, Kim, it's good to see you. They're wiping out the women. So not only are they wiping out manly men, because I know there's manly men out there, but these men are becoming women. I'm still going to say to this day, a man who has a beard and no chest, but wears this tiny little top and a skirt and some makeup doesn't mean you're female. No, just because you're a man identifying as a woman selling tampons doesn't mean you're a woman and you can relate to a woman at all. It is the biggest insult to women for men, in my opinion, men who can't make it in male sports, who never succeed in male sports. Whatever kind of dysfunction that's going on in their mind, to think they can switch to become a woman and then compete against women and win, that's a problem. That's not healthy. Okay. If you're a man becoming a woman and compete in a woman's sport and you're proud of beating women when you're technically biologically a male, that's not healthy. That's not a normal, healthy, functioning human being. We have so many people that are caught up in male, female, female, male, and intermixing who we are instead of just standing in, I'm a male or I'm a female. Because if you stand in, I'm a male or I'm a female, you're the one that's being disinclusive to society, disinclusive to these people who are having issues and feel inclusive. But like I said, you look at what a lot of these transgender people talk about, how they behave, how they act in public, there's no respectability there, in my opinion. I have yet to see any of them have a nice, calm, loving, embracing appearance about themselves. They're very aggressive. They're very egotistical. There was that one that the one that's out there, Dylan, who's made it all over the place, and the spokesperson and all that for these major companies, Bud Light, Tampax, went to the White House, all that, came out and did a video and said, "This is me as day one as a woman." And he said, I had a couple breakdowns today, but I look cute, I'm dressed cute, and look at, I'm applying my lip gloss. How's that for being a woman for day one? What a complete insult to women. You think that dressing up, having breakdowns, and putting on lipstick is what it takes to become a woman or be a woman? And how are you doing as a woman on day one? That's a complete insult. You know, women, if it wasn't for women, you wouldn't be here, mister. You know, women are the ones that can give birth, not men, women. So all these so-called males that become females, insulting females and act like they can even use tampons, for heaven's sakes, or have periods or the signs of periods, is disgusting and insulting and degrading to women. There's no inclusiveness in that at all. And I don't want to go on a tangent anymore with this. This just really gets under my skin too. I know that most of you know that, but know what I'm saying and can relate to what I'm saying. But the thing is, once again, now it's being forced down our throats with these male/females endorsing women's products. We've got these different athletes that are professional athletes now that are signing legislation into or signing letters to go against the protection of women in women's sports. Women want women's sports, men want men's sports. Let the trans community have their own sports. And you guys figure out who's male and female, right? You guys figure out the teams there. Don't bring it to us, and don't overpower and try to underestimate women. Women are strong people. Women are unifiers in families. Women are the strength in a lot of families. Yes, men are providers. I agree that 100%. Men can lead the way in a family. I agree with that 100%. But a man, behind every good man, the saying is a good woman. And I believe that's the truth. A good man and a good woman make an unbeatable team. The family unit, them trying to come in and distort the family unit. I see these males that are trying to breastfeed babies with fake nipples and everything else. And it's so disturbing. I can't imagine what that child's thinking. And what is that child going to think growing up? They're going to think that's normal, that mommy has a beard and has rubbery fake breasts to feed them. It's getting so distorted and nasty and ugly. And you got to call it out for what it is. I'm not understanding that. I'm not having any sympathy to that. What's going to happen with society? Let's say we accept all this and these males can breastfeed and all this. Who's going to actually have the babies then? Is the next thing going to say that a man can have all of a sudden a uterus? You're going to make a uterus so you can have a baby and be pregnant? I mean, it's absolutely absurd. Without women, you wouldn't have society at all. You wouldn't have humans at all. So there's that. Oh, yeah, that's right, Kim. You know what? Trans are doing that woman's face, just like blackface is so wrong. So is that. I agree with you. That's the new thing. They're doing a woman's face, even in yet keeping a beard. Oh, that is so. It's not even funny. It is right. That is a true statement. I saw something about that the other day. It was sickening. So that is some of our athletes. We know that athletes have let us down lately with a lot of different things. But that one really, that is icing on the cake to say that that should be totally acceptable. And let's not support that federal bill, HR 734. I don't get that at all. So a couple other things here. I don't know if you guys saw this today as well. I'm a little bit fired up today. Chip Roy, who the Texas representative, came out and endorsed Ron DeSantis for the 2024 run as president. He was saying that we need somebody who's not a baby boomer, somebody that can serve 2 terms, somebody that we know can get behind the root to root out corruption in the town and beat the swamp. Well, we all know who started that, right? We all know who started that whole thing. And I think it was kind of, I don't know, disrespectful. You can have an opinion. You can say, hey, I want DeSantis to run. That's who I support. But to say somebody that can go 2 terms, I don't know about you guys, but Mr. T seems like he's still very intelligent, still very energized, still very with it mentally. I don't know. Ron DeSantis, I'm not saying he's bad, but I was surprised by that. He did come out and say that he'll support no matter who gets the nomination and stuff. But, I think it was just kind of insulting to say that somebody that can really support the grassroots movement and take control of the swamp and get the swamp out of there. Because like I said, DeSantis isn't the one that started it. And I really believe that if it wasn't for Mr. T, DeSantis wouldn't have the platform that he does now. I guess it all came out because DeSantis yesterday was Tuesday, right? DeSantis was in D.C. He was meeting with the GOP congressional lawmakers for maybe a potential run. We don't know, but so Chip Roy came out and was promoting him and backing him. So that'll be interesting to find out more about that, because we know that DeSantis hasn't even said anything about it. So we'll see what's going to happen with that issue there. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene is added. This other article was surprising to me. And actually, it is, to me, the hot potato out there that it seems like people should be paying attention to. And that is, she was talking about, and this came out yesterday as well, that the Oversight Committee has evidence of the B family, their connections, and we know who it is. It's the current administration, that they have connections to human trafficking and prostitution prostitutes from the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. So this is coming. This was an article that came out on the Gateway Pundit, and she said that there was more evidence that it was not just Hunter who was linked to the Russian prostitutes. According to her, the Oversight Committee has evidence it's the entire B family. They were involved in it. And she said they just finished reviewing financial records in the Treasury. She said she saw over 2,000 pages of jaw-dropping information. She said there's basically an enterprise wrapped around Mr. B, involving not only multiple family members, more than we thought were there, but other people as well. Just basically, she said, a complete conglomerate of lies. So she said these shell companies where the money was passing through from foreign countries, but not many of the countries were more than just those. It wasn't just the main three that we hear about. There were more. She said that there's a lot of information in there that we, the American people, deserve to know about that family and the crimes they're involved in. She said that the Oversight Committee has a much bigger investigation to do than they ever thought was possible. And she said it's unbelievable that a president and a former VP, not only a son, but many more family members extending past his son and his immediate family, are involved in these foreign countries and stuff. So she's saying they're going to get to work. They're going to try to expose it. They're going to dig more deeply into it. It's going to take time. But my thing is, I mean, kudos to her and kudos to them. I know people say a lot isn't happening, and it is very unfair. We know that all the stuff they've gone after Mr. T for, and people say, you know what, is fine. You go after Mr. T, whether you like Mr. T or not. They found nothing on him. He's been through so much over the last 5 years. But how about the scale is like this, right? Mr. T is up here, the main focus all these years, and the B family is down here. Yet the B family is where we find all the different documentation on, all the discovery on, stuff that's come out visually, whether it's pictures on a laptop or 2 or 3. Remember, I think we were up to 3 laptops at one time that Hunter had. And you've got all this evidence, and so far, we're not seeing anything other than people coming out and saying, yes, we have this, or we've seen the evidence ourselves, but no action as far as them being held accountable is being taken. But I say this, when are they going to go after Mr. B's house and have a raid there? How about going in there to try to find evidence like they did Mr. T and so many other people? It is very lopsided. We know that, but I give Marjorie Taylor Greene credit and that Oversight Committee for staying the course, because we don't have any choice, do we? We have to stay the course. We have to pray. We have to hope. I've said many times, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter if you're fatigued or not. This is our country and our livelihoods and our country at stake, and our future generations of children's lives at stake. So that's why it's so important to stay the course. Like I said, take a break if you need a break, and then come back to it when you can come back to it. But in the meantime, there's just a lot of stuff to me that's still coming out of what's going on. All these different things. Like I found all this stuff just today. Like I said, I haven't been diving deep into it. I've been doing other things. But when I came across all this stuff today, I couldn't believe it. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up was something that came out. It's actually an article by Carrie Donovan, and it's from Frontline America, and it's Moms for Liberty denounce action to label members as extremists. So Carrie Donovan, if you guys know, back in the day, hey Gigs, it's good to see you. Carrie Donovan, I met when I was at the Mike Lindell event in Missouri, and we actually did an interview with her and had a talk with her the last day that we were there at the event. She's got the long dark hair. She came on at the end when Cam came on. But I've stayed in touch with her through Twitter and stuff like that. And she came out with this great article today. And it was Moms for Liberty denounce, like I said, action to label members as extremists. So the Moms for Liberty co-founders, Tiffany Justice and Tina, released a statement today because what's happening is there's a targeted effort going against these Moms of Liberty people who oppose parental empowerment movement in America. So there's allegations that are being spread against the members of this Moms for Liberty group. Actually hate violence, all the bad things. There's misinformation coming out against these people, and the false stories are actually reviving the U.S. Department of Justice effort to target Moms for Liberty as members as threats in domestic T word. Because what this Moms of Liberty group has done is they came out, it's a group of women, moms for liberty. They came out, they've been around for a while. They came out and spoke against the sickness lockdowns, the things on our face, and also the jabberdoodles for kids. So they've came out, and they're also, they've got serious concerns and came out about the education system and all that. So these moms just teamed up. They're great. They're great people. And now they're under attack as well. And there's all these different accusations and stuff coming out against them that are not true. So these two people, these co-founders, Tiffany and Tina, had to come out and give a statement for this. So Carrie Donovan did this article, and I thought it was pretty amazing. She said the story's developing, and there's going to get more details as they come out. But the thing is, you guys, here it is. These are moms fighting for the rights of children, our rights as well, our rights as people. The attempt for all these different extreme people who are against just our freedoms and stuff to label these moms and their members as dangerous is very, very, very bad in the sense that is using the government as a weaponization against its own citizens. And we see that all across. Anybody who comes for pro people, pro America, pro children, pro choice, with us wanting to do what's right by children in the schools and just get all this extreme stuff out. So we know that they're under attack. We know they've been different people's homes have been raided, et cetera, et cetera. So I would just like to ask that you pray for these women from Moms of Liberty. Check into them if you haven't heard of them before. Parents are calling teachers with concerns. These women are getting active in the schools, talking with teachers, but some of these people are labeling these women as bad words I don't want to say because I'm going to get taken down. But what they're trying to do is unify and bring the power to the parents and the teachers back together to connect. And not just allow teachers to do whatever they want to. I remember we had parent-teacher conferences when we were young, and you had a relationship with the teachers, and that's gone away. That's just gone away. So they're just trying to bring concerns back to the educational system and have conversations. Well, we know certain people out there don't want that happening. We see what's happening in our school systems. We see what's happening against the children. And these are strong, beautiful women. They said they're not going to be deterred by baseless accusations or negative portrayals, that they're just going to stand up, stand out. They speak out in public meetings. They said that is not that T word. So they're basically trying to facilitate understanding between communities and the government leaders elected to serve them. So they're speaking up and they're speaking out, and they're under attack. So I just think it's very sad, and it's terrible. Moms of Liberty is the group. So if you guys, like I said, haven't heard of them or anything, I suggest you look them up. They're wonderful people, and maybe get involved yourself somehow. Hey, Cindy Fuller Steffens, it's good to see you too. It's been a while. Gigs, yes. She wasn't feeling well the last couple of weeks. It's good to see you. It's actually good to see all of you in here. It's been a while since I've done a show like this, and it's usually, sometimes it's been at night, but during the day works better for me a lot of the time. So like I said, I feel the strength and energy to get back in this now. I did take a break for a while. I think I've told you guys, I love doing devotions or day, and inspirational shows sometimes in the morning too, going over scripture and having conversations and just kind of living life. I found that for me with the show TME Nation, it is a variety of things, because I think all people are a variety. And I always say variety is the spice of life. I don't want to box myself into just politics or just working out or just scripture. I think that it's wonderful to experience all the different people that come in my chat, that email me, that text me, that write to me, comment to me. Everybody has different likes and different things that they like to experience through the day. I just, like I said, don't want to box myself in. I am a variety of different things. I mean, most people are. So whatever hits me to do for a show is what I end up doing. Like I said, I'm finding my rhythm. I'm finding my pattern. I'm finding my way on this YouTube crazy world. And I have to say, it took me a while, because I did figure out how to work all this stuff on my own, you guys. I was not very technical savvy at all. Hey, Gigs, at all. But, Cam did offer to help me out. Cam has been great. Cam is my buddy. I love Cam. And he offered to help me, but I thought, dang it, Tammy, I can do this. I knew I could do it. So that's what took me a while. And just now I'm getting used to where I can share photos or share screen and pull stuff up, because sometimes you have to watch, because when you pull stuff up, then your microphone shuts off and there's all these intricate things you have to learn. But, I'm just trying to keep it simple. Hey, Mona. I'm glad that you're enjoying the sunshine. I'm getting ready to head out there myself pretty soon. And I just, whatever hits me for the moment, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a professional instructor, fitness instructor at the gym, whatever. Bethia, I'm coming over. Okay. I should be off by then, Bethia. But whatever hits me, whatever God leads me to do, I'm going to do. And it just is very freeing. And it's a good time. It's a conversation about anything and everything. And I love that. Some days are good. Some days are bad. Some days are going to be serious and some days aren't. But talking to you guys is great. And seeing some of you like Cindy and stuff, it's great, and Gigs. And I know Mona's here for me when she can be. Paul has been pretty consistent, and Kim, Christopher Sandor, love Christopher. I think Christopher, he has his own channel that I'm subscribed to. So I need to get over there and check some of his videos out too, because I believe it's about barbecuing and stuff. It's just about sharing stuff, you guys. And that's what I've always loved. I've said before, I love people. I love the experience of sharing stories with people. I just love it. And, not having a certain time to go on. Thank you, Gigs. Not having a certain time to go on or a certain standard to meet as far as topics. I love that. I may be getting in to interviews too down the road. I just haven't yet, you guys. My internet, I have good internet, but I think my computer's going to crash pretty soon. Actually, it's a laptop. So I have to check on what kind of laptop I want to get next, or if I want to get a computer. So now I'm just keeping it simple. I'm just taking it easy. I'm not into the fancy backgrounds. I'm not into the fancy anything. I just want to have conversations. And that's all I want to do is have a good time. And, some of them are livelier than others. I know you guys have seen me on Cam's channel, and some of his stories just cracked me up. I don't like to stay closed-minded about people. I believe that people grow. I believe that they change. I believe people slip up, including myself. But if I've said this before, somebody's really trying and somebody is sharing their passion and somebody's sharing their life, that's a pretty good place to be at. It takes a lot to do that, a lot of courage, actually, because we know that the internet can be really ruthless and a lot of people can come out and attack you. And, I've been through it, but I don't want to relish in that stuff. I don't want to not relish. I don't want to roll in that stuff. People want to come make fun of me, let them. If people want to use me on their streams, let them. I'm just out here because life is short. I think that there's a lot of opportunity to share, and this is how we unify as a country and a community, share our different opinions and ideas and our joys and our sorrows together. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The sense of community with people went away for so many years with that. Last 3 years, we know why. So this is a good place to get back at it, I think. Plus, there's a lot of people that we don't watch regular TV. We don't watch regular news. We are the news in the sense of we see things that are happening in real time. There's different social medias that you get what is happening, in public office or at different events that are being held from the actual people involved, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Donald Trump, like Mr. B when he's on his adventures. You get real-time video and audio of that stuff, and that's a force to be reckoned with, because then you don't have to just believe somebody sitting behind a TV screen on TV and trust that what they're telling you is the truth. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Do my best. Christopher, he is, I know, Mona. Christopher is something. He is, but he makes me laugh too. Lone Wolf, it's good to see you back. I've been struggling. World is nuts. What gives you hope and strength, if I may ask? Need to reposition my thinking. Do you know what? I will tell you what gives me my strength is prayer and God and Jesus. It's the truth. I have been through some nasty stuff, and I think you guys know a lot of it. But in personal life as well. I have said many times, I'm a fighter. I would rather heal and have open, honest conversations than and face and confront people and the different issues we may have against each other or when we did each other wrong. And that goes with family members as well. And I've always been that way. I would rather hear directly from the person and have conversations and resolve it one way or another and then move on. Because I believe no matter what you're facing, whether it's a family member, a loved one, at work, if you can't be open and honest because you've got a lot of built up whatever issues in yourself, that's where the problem and destruction comes in, Lone Wolf. I believe if you do self-reflection and you say, okay, what are my issues? What do I need to fix in me? What part am I playing in whatever is bringing you down? Or let's say you have negative people that you allow in and day out. If we start restricting the access those people have to us so we can regroup and refine ourselves, that will help us immensely. When we stay so busy and active and there's so much going on in the world, there's so much noise, and we don't take time for ourselves to meditate. And I mean, meditate can be praying. It can be sitting somewhere and it's peaceful and beautiful and just getting away from all the noise. No matter what it is, we need to take that time out to reinvest in ourselves. I think, Lone, what the problem is, too many people invest in other people. And for me, being a nurturer, God, I have a habit of investing too much into because I'm an empath too, too much into broken people thinking my love and attention and support can fix them, when in reality we can only fix ourselves. And that's something that I've learned is I can still be loving, kind, and giving, but I got to make sure that I save some for myself and I focus on my issues. Because if I'm not really focusing on my issues and I'm always focused on everybody else and how can I help them, then I'm not really a great mother or wife or friend either. We get depleted of our energy. And as moms, being nurturers, we have a tendency to do that. So I'm just really trying to not get sucked in too deep to things that are out of my control, that I can still give love, acceptance, and joy to people. But when I need to say no to an event, I need to say no to someone, that I have the bravery and the self-respect for myself to say no and say no. I don't know about you guys, but we get invited to so many different events, or we get invited to things and we run ourselves ragged and we feel guilty for saying no. No is a complete sentence. No. You don't have to explain yourself. And I've always been one, I still do it now. I over explain things. I don't need to do it because I feel if I'm not giving somebody a full explanation, that they're going to think I'm mad or I don't care, or, I don't think it's important, and I overdo it. So I've been retracting in myself, and that's kind of the long story. Funny, huh? I said I would share. See, I just did it again. Cindy said, when we get our wits end, that's where God is. Exactly. You pray, you read. And when I'm overwhelmed, I turn it over to God. God wants you to be successful, happy, whole. And that's true, Cindy, because this is the thing in life. I have I'm not kidding you, 8 to 10 different daily devotions or different inspirational books that I read every day. I make the time to do that. And that changed in me, because I know that it's very daunting for people to try to read the Bible from beginning to end, or, you get through some of the so-called boring parts and you just don't want to do it anymore. You give up. But I'm telling you, if you go to Psalms or Proverbs and you read those two sections first, it's all full of guidance, wisdom, love, how God never fails us, how we as humans, because we are in a sinful world and stuff, we think that we are supposed to stay down, that we are supposed to feel guilty, that we are supposed to hang on to the garbage, and we're not. We're supposed to let it go. That's the struggle. The world is nuts. But the thing is, you know what? I don't want to participate in the nutty world. I want to build and find the strength to gather people, help people, and myself in the as well, to be better and make more light and make more joy and make more less crazy in the world. And it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different path or pattern or way of doing it. But I'm going to say, lone wolf, if you just stick to yourself and you go to scripture or go to inspirational stories, that's a good place to start, and limit what you allow in and what you look at. I'm going to tell you, I talk about the pretties of the world and the pretty things. In your little section of a room that you may have, put the pretties in there. Treat yourself to a candle. Make it clean. Make it smell good. Buy yourself that nice, pretty little throw. If you make your surrounding calm, peaceful, and beautiful, and I call it like your little nest. We hear about man caves, or women have sometimes she sheds. It doesn't have to be fancy and big, but I've made myself I call it my cave, because I'm a Cancer, so I'm a crab. Very emotional, highly emotional. So my surroundings can affect me. I love the pretty things. Like, look behind me, flowers. I don't care if they're fake flowers. I want flowers. I use essential oils. I get out and I look at, nature, and absorb what is actually going on in nature. Just taking a walk is really good. It's a simple thing, but so many people don't do it. So many people stay in front of the computer on the internet, right? Or even the kind of music that you listen to. I listen to Gregorian chant music. I listen to instrumental music. I listen to all kinds of music, but when I really want to be calm and spiritual and kind of meditate and relax, I listen to instrumental music. I think it can be very moving. Words sometimes get in the way, but also, it just depends on the mood. But when you want to get your calm, you want to settle down and you want to hear from God, sometimes you just need that kind of music, I think. Who else is in here? Benjamin, hey, it's been a while since I saw you. Welcome, welcome. And hey, Al Bundy, good to see you as well. I'm a little behind in chat because I got myself on a little Tammy rant, you guys. I know behind these words on the screen, you are real people, but don't let them get you down. We all really irrelevant in each other's real lives. Like you said, I enjoy the conversation here. That's true. I think that in real life, you can think you know somebody, but you really don't. I mean, it is the internet. People have, some are using real names, some don't use the real names. We can be whoever we want to be on the internet. It's kind of acting, it's just like TV, and it doesn't matter if you're on a soap opera, if you're a performer, if you're an actor. There's a certain persona that people have, and they're really not that way. It's true. But, everybody wears different masks, but it depends on what kind of mask you're wearing and why, I guess. If you act one way, but in real life you're another, that's not good, obviously, right? I don't know. I just think that our adventure is people just trying to find out who we truly are, who we truly want to be, how we want ourselves to be representative in the legacy we want to leave behind, and how we want to touch people. If we can get to the root of that, of who we really are, and then just take it from there and know your truth, there's no stopping you. Hey, Adam, it's been forever since I saw you. It's good to see you too. I love hermit mode. Do you know what, Al? I was in hermit mode for a long time. I did that because I'm thinking, everything got thrown off balance because of everything I went through, and you guys too, with the lockdowns and with the disagreeing with family members or friends, all of that. But all of that is past now, and I say that to heal, you have to heal and move on forward. It doesn't mean forget what has happened. It means learn from those experiences. The only way we can grow, I think, from experiences, whether they're bad or good, is what did we learn from those experiences? It can be a good experience or a bad one. And I actually posted that on my community page today, that to let go of how we feel in a situation, a bad situation, but what have we learned from that situation? Because sometimes I think we get so wrapped up in our emotion of a situation and we don't let that emotion go. So then we don't grow or learn from it. We just stay wrapped in that. And that's where I talk about people having excess as baggage, and eventually we get weighed down. And that's not a good thing. And that doesn't help us. So what do we learn from people? What do we learn from the experiences? How do we make connections to people? What kind of people are we allowing in our environment? Do we have to let certain people in our environment, or don't we? Can we say no? I'm not having it, and it's not that hard. Somehow you know me precisely. Haha. No is a hard word for me. Thank you. I will give that a shot. You know what? I'll tell you what. No is a hard word, and it took me a long time to learn that. At my age, I finally learned it. Enjoy my solitude. And you know what, you guys? There's nothing wrong with having solitude. We're supposed to like our company. Listen, I'll tell you what, if we have to be in either other people's company, whether we're on the phone all day, we're talking to people all day in person, if we can't stand to be by ourselves because we get bored or feel we're going crazy, or it's because we don't want to face ourselves, that's a problem. You're supposed to enjoy your own company, because if you can enjoy your own company and you have Jesus, that's it. That's all you need. And everything else that you benefit from there is a benefit and a gift. It is a gift. We are supposed to be able to enjoy each other's company, yes. But when we use it as a tool to cope or just function or survive in society, so we don't have to face our own issues and deal with ourselves, or if we're trying to avoid something, that is never beneficial. And that's why a lot of people can't be alone, because their minds go cuckoo. They haven't made peace with things they may have done, or maybe they haven't made peace with something that's been done to them. And it's very destructive, and it can happen very fast. It's different, and you can go crazy, right? Look at Howard Hughes. Well, didn't Howard Hughes go nuts? He was by himself, and he was never healed of different things. He was just kind of crazy, and he started seeing things and all that. So, I mean, energy is real, you guys. You have to decide what kind of energy do you want to put out there in the world. And if you're drained of energy, you need to just stay by yourself and figure it out and come back whenever you're ready. That world's going to be waiting for you, no matter what time you get out there. It's going to be out there, and that's it for me. And like I said, for me, it's a very, hey, Harvest Mary Moon. Only people that I associate with are all of you are my online friends. Hey, Benjamin. And hey, Harvest. Like I said, it's good to see all you guys. Your surrounding is calm. That's good, Benjamin. It should be. What was I going to say? I lost track of what I was going to say. But I mean, I get out there and I have a good time, and I'm not telling you every day. A lot of things are choices too, you guys. Not every day that I experience is a good day. I at work, I'm telling you, sometimes people, when they get older, can be very angry, and they can be negative. I could go to work and be in a positive mood in the morning. And some of the people I deal with, because I teach aqua classes for the most part, aqua. I mean, I'll get in there and I'll be like, hey, everybody, how's it going? Because I put on my game face, right? Because I'm there to inspire, motivate, get these people moving through that water, give them an hour of good exercise. So it gets their endorphins going, it gets the hormones moving, it gets their body woken up, and just my job is to give them the best hour that I can give them, because they're spending their time to come there for me to work them out. I can walk in there and I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and the first thing I hear is, the pool's cold. We don't turn that fan on. The music's too loud. I mean, it's na 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 na. But instead of that affecting me and letting that, I got to fix the camera, affecting me in a bad way, what I try to do is just say, okay, and try to accommodate people. And then we go from there. And I try to work it out and give them such a tough workout that they forget about what they're complaining about. Play music they can relate to, they can sing to. So it's all about trying to give your best in the world, no matter what you do. I don't care if you're a greeter at a business. I don't care if you're a greeter at a store. I don't care if you work in a restaurant. If you're in the public eye and your job is in the public, trying to spread goodness and kindness and happiness is very daunting at times, but it's a blessing to be able to be out there and do it. It really is. It can get draining, but sometimes you have to go home and detox from it. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't change it for the world. I've been working in the public my whole life. Every job I've ever had has always been in the public. So either I'm super crazy or glutton for punishment, or I just love people. And I'm just going to say that I love people. They're very interesting to me. Let's see. My surrounding is calm, Benjamin said. My man cave has pictures of my kids, maybe some dogs playing pool. There's nothing wrong with that, Al. There's nothing wrong. If that's your eye candy, that's your eye candy. Indian flute music's very calming, yes. I love a lot of that kind of stuff too. There's different kinds of drums too. I forget what they're called. They're the metal, well, they're drums, and then the metal thing that they hit. Anyways, I'm into all that. I do teach yoga too. So all that music, I did a couple shorts with a couple songs that I have. I've got like hundreds of songs that I sit and I listen through, because the same thing with yoga. It's an ebb and a flow. It starts off really slow, comes to its peak, and then settles down. Music moves you. You guys know that. Music, depending on what you want to feel, music will set the mood. Music is an amazing thing. And it's funny because you guys, if you remember War Machine from the other channel, Christopher, I'm still friends with him and we talk. And it's funny because he sends me music a lot. He sends me songs. And I'm like, dude, he has such an eclectic, wide variety of musical taste, but I can relate to it because I was in radio 13 years as well. So I was in music. I've always been in music, all different kinds. Heavy metal, not so much. I'm going to retract that, heavy metal, but it depends on the mood. So whether it's a movie you watch, whether it's music you listen to, whether it's a book you read, it all affects our mood, doesn't it? So we use these tools. I think they're gifts, and it's wise to use these tools to settle our mood. If we need more energy or we need to be taken down a notch, we've got these different tools and these different gifts that will set us back to balance. I say working out for me is a big one, because when I need to detox or I get upset, I don't eat, I don't smoke. What I do is I go and I work out or I take a walk. That is my fix for when I get overly emotionally stimulated, or if I'm feeling low, I go work out or I take a walk. That's what I do. But my point is, if you find something that will help you rebalance yourself, and we should do that. So taking our time for ourselves, not just being by ourselves, but treating ourselves to self-care is very important too, to our mental health as well as our physical health. And it's important. Let me see. I am Indian and I listen to the music. I love it. It's coming. Yes. True. Indian music is amazing. Native American music. Yes. I've always had an affinity for American Indians and Indian music. One time, you guys, God, I'm really rambling today, but it's good conversation. I guess it's not rambling if I'm conversing with you guys, right? But it was when I was in Michigan, and there was a professional soccer tournament that I was able to attend. As a media person, there was some stuff I had to do, but the point is, these Native American Indians came and did like a dance and a routine during this, and I got to introduce them. And these people were dressed, and I think they were white, leather, feather, real Indian headdresses. I was like blown away by the beauty of what they wore, the intricate detail in these feathers and the colors, and the way they made their I don't know what you call it, their special ceremonial dressings that they had on, the different tools that they had in their hands as symbolic of what they were doing. And then when they danced, I was blown away. That was one of the most memorable times I ever had in my life, was to experience Native Americans dancing in their full dress, up front and in person like that. It was the most beautiful thing ever. They've always been into nature, go by nature, the beauty of nature, and the spiritual people. I've always had, like I said, an admiration for those people. Morning coffee with birds and nature, so good. Favorite time of the day. New beginnings every day. Amen to that, Harvest Mary Moon. That is so true. I do that too. If I have to work, I come home from work and I have my first cup of coffee and I sit out back. This time of year, where I live in Georgia, it's beautiful. The sun's nice and bright. It's a good temperature, not too hot. Everything's really green now. Everything's in full bloom now as well. It's just beautiful here. So I sit out back and I don't look down at my phone. I actually just sit and look in my own backyard, and I think how beautiful things are, and how in fall everything's dead, and then it comes in winter, and then it comes back to life in the spring and summer, and it's incredible. So as we always know, if God does that with nature and the different things in nature, what does He do for us? What can He do for us? What will He do for us if we just reach out and ask? It's pretty incredible. He's the only thing that can turn bad into good, right? We hear how He turns ashes into something beautiful, and like nobody can. He's the only one that can do that. So just to appreciate the different things He created. It wasn't just us. I mean, nature's pretty amazing. The oceans mesmerizing to me, the different creatures in the ocean. I always watch documentaries on the ocean, and even wildlife stuff as well, because it's incredible, the different things that we can experience and enjoy. And like I said, you guys, you don't have to be into the politics or the negativity going on in the world all the time. You can go down so many different venues. There's just such a ton out there in the world that the world has to offer. And even if you don't travel, I've never traveled much in my life, but nowadays you can go online and you can actually, there's videos made of you're actually walking or driving down the street because people have made videos, and you can go anywhere. You can go to Switzerland, you can go to Spain, you can walk through Italy. And Italy's my favorite because, oh my gosh. And it feels like you're there. Like people are walking and they've got the video, and it's all the beautiful stores in Italy and all the different places to eat, and the cobblestone streets, and then the countryside. I mean, spend a couple hours doing that in the day. If you're stressed out, you can de-stress. It's just amazing. I guess it's all choices, you guys. It's choices where we spend our time, what we tend to focus on and stuff. And it's going to set our mood, definitely. Uh, hmm. Good that you can work with people, Tammy. I did that for many years, and now I do well to even like people. Yeah, it is draining, Mona. Working in the public is very draining. I think I told people before that I worked in a senior center for many years. I worked from the independent living section to the assisted living to 24-hour care. And I'll tell you, this was some of the most, and when, the sickness hit, they canceled the program, and they really never brought it back. And then they tried to bring it back and me back, but there were so many restrictions and different things. I kind of figured my time was up with that. But I want to say, I've always had an affinity for the elderly too. Because I've said before, hopefully we'll get old too, and I would want somebody to take care of me that well, and to still make me feel like I matter. Working in those facilities to see people, be able to get their hair done, their nails done. I taught fitness in all different sections, all different levels, also the music part of it. And it was some of the most rewarding times of my life. Was it hard sometimes? Yes. Losing people that I cared about was very tough, but that's part of the job. So you have to find balance. If you work in the public, you definitely have to find balance. You have to detox. You have to get away, and you're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad days yourself. That's when you have to put your friendly, happy mask on, no matter what, and just try to do good, and then go home and chill out for the day. It can be very exhausting, definitely. But for me, I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I'm still doing it. I've learned so much. I've always said too, I really think that getting to know people and their stories, people have so much to offer. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be famous, because half of that's fake anyways. A lot of those people, they have promo people. They are told what to say and how to say it. When you watch documentaries sometimes and people tell their stories, that can be very heartwarming, but sometimes that's even scripted. I like real life stories of the average people, because the average people are what make this world go around. They're the hard workers. They're the people that keep families together. They're the ones that keep the regular jobs, whether you're a mechanic, a teacher. It doesn't matter if you're a mailman. It doesn't matter what you do. The average person, to me, is the hero, because we're the ones that keep the hope alive for families, for the next generations to come. We're the majority. Celebrities and stuff, some of them are good, yeah. I've been around them a lot, but some of them can be very disappointing. They're just people. Don't forget, they're just people too, like you and me. Life is a vibration, Al, and I'll tell you what, you want to keep that vibration high. You want to have a good time in life. You got to enjoy the simple things, you got to believe what you say and do what you say. If you don't believe in yourself and believe in what you say, you're not going to get fulfilled. When you have to go to other people all the time to get an ego boost, or to get validation, or to get any kind of stimulation, and you always need other people, there is something seriously broken in yourself that needs to be fixed. And we all have different levels of brokenness. I too have it, but we're always a work in progress. So I'm saying, if we don't let all these things build up over the years and the months, and we kind of learn how to let go of some things and become who we are, and focus on ourselves, that's not ego, that's not selfish. That is what God wants us to do, because God wants us to live in abundance in everything. God wants us to be happy even in the sad times, because God gets us through the sad times. God gets us through the tough times. Our spouse may help us, our friends and family may help us, but really it's Jesus who gets us through the quickest, easiest, safest, fastest way. The least amount of pain way is to go through Jesus and believe in him. Get out of our own ego and our own self and listen to him and what he has to say. And you can't go wrong. I've been blessed with time to watch the clouds. God's art. I'm telling you. Hey, Kaiser, it's good to see you. I love watching the clouds. You know, my friend and I just the other day went to a park. And it was a pond, and we just laid back on a blanket. We listened to music. We just laughed and talked, and we're just being lazy for the afternoon, and had some girl talk time. And that is refreshing, because we think as we get older, gosh, I have this and this and this to do, this responsibility to get here and here. And we just said, you know what? We're not being lazy. This is what life is about. You should be able to spend time with a friend or a loved one, whoever you want. Lay back on a blanket, look up at the sky, listen to nature, watch what's going on around you. Look at, there were turtles coming up in the pond and jumping around, and fish were jumping. And I'm telling you guys, it felt so good for the soul. It was reviving to spend that time with a friend and just laugh and relax and be silly. There's no age limit on relaxing and being silly. Just because you're after a certain age doesn't mean you got to sit on a couch in front of a TV and be bored. You can find eye candy no matter where you live, no matter what you're doing. Like I said, whether it's beautifying your area, going outdoors, just finding some peace and calm in your life. I'll give you another example. I am alone all the time, but I'm not, because I have God, and I'm not afraid of death neither, because he will be with me. And Paula, amen, Paula, that's true. Yeah, death can't do anything to us permanently if we've got God, right? I always say, you guys, our last breath here is our first breath when we cross over. And I'll tell you the story about my dad sometime, but I need to get out of here pretty soon. I've been talking a long time, but I've so enjoyed this conversation and see some of you that I haven't seen in a while. But it's true. Our last inhale here is our first exhale over there. Our last exhale here is our first inhale there. And I'll tell you what, that's comforting. It's refreshing. And it's always difficult to lose the loved one. For sure. The people left behind, it's really hard for. But I'll tell you what, that person that is over there would want us to be happy and remember them and be joyful. And they're waiting for the day that they get to see us again. And I've always said, my dad dying was the hardest thing that ever happened to me. It happened 8 years ago. His birthday was actually yesterday, his heavenly birthday. He would have been 79, so he was young. I always say that every day that passes is a day closer to me seeing him and being reunited with him again, and all my other loved ones that I've lost, from friends in high school to everybody has lost somebody in life, right? So that's what I say. Another day's passed. I live life to the fullest that I can while I'm here. But I know after the day ends, that's just another day that I'm closer to going there and being with him and everybody else again. And that's how I get through it, because that's God's promises, right? That this life here is a blip and it's temporary. We're here to grow and become holy and spiritual people. Christ's children. That's who we're here to be. So, you got to have some fun sometimes. It doesn't have to all be serious. God laughs too. God made sense of humor. God made it all. So we're doing him an injustice if we're always somber, sad, and serious. I think that he says it in the Bible. He wants us to have joy, right? Amen, Al. But don't forget the squirrels and the bunny rabbits. Yes, that's true. Paula, the birds and trees are my friends. You know what? Squirrels are my friend too, but there's some living in my house. If you guys missed that story, right next to me here is a nest of squirrels that chewed through the wood of my house and are living in like the awning, the easement between the garage and the house. Those little suckers. It's a hole about like this big. Yeah. And they're having a good time in there. So good for them. I keep saying all the dang trees there are around where I live, and those suckers built a nice little comfy home and den in my roof. So we're going to wait for those baby squirrels to grow up, move out. and then we'll go ahead and seal it up. But I did hear that a lot of times you got to move squirrels quite a ways away, because otherwise they go back to where they felt comfortable and where their home was. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not going to be a good thing. But anyhow, thanks so much for today, you guys. I'm glad that we got to end it on a good conversation, and not all the silliness of the news and stuff, or the serious of the news. There's good out there. You just got to look for it. I think that you entertain the good more than you do the bad, and it's like a breath of fresh air. Go out and enjoy something this afternoon or today if you can. Put a smile on somebody's face. Put a smile on your face. Be kind to yourself for a few moments today. You're not going to lose anything by it. Read a passage of scripture. It's going to lighten you up, and it's going to lift you up, and it'll be good for you. I guarantee it, because sitting and worrying is not going to do you any good health-wise, especially. So thanks for coming out with me today, you guys, and enjoying the show, and all your comments and being here. I thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you. God bless. Take care. And I will see you soon on the next one, you guys. Goodbye.